Hi Virgo, and welcome to weeklies for February 22nd to 28th. So let's see what kind of energies you're going to have for this week. Overall, it looks like you'll be coping with some things from the past, and it's going to be highly spiritual lessons because you're going to have to come to some intuitive answers. So let's go right into it. The base cards here you have Fire King inversed and the Emperor inversed. In the upright, basically these two are glorious cards that kind of talk about you getting the reign of your life and being charismatic and kind of like people just flocking to you and sort of like decision. But this way, it basically says that you feel that you're out of control and you feel that people don't see your true self. So let's see why you feel this way. I think the answer is already showing here, where you have Three of C inversed. So, you have like, the card is showing that basically you can have fun and you can have good times, even with the people who not necessarily will be kind of like your choice. Inversed means that the joyfulness is not there, and that maybe could be three is a crowd, it could be the third person, and then you have the second, basically Three of Sky. So this is emotional impact of the three, and this is intellectual impact of the three. So something has harmed you, something has hurt you, and you're deeply processing it both in your head and in your heart. This is a pretty tough situation, and here basically you see anything that can basically go wrong can go wrong here, like things can get knocked off, and it can be basically turbulence over here. But 2 3s are basically showing that kind of is a spiritual message basically happening here. And you have a lots of basically major arcanas, like when you have the Emperor, you have the Strength, you have Demon Cat. So there are like three of them talking about you guys needing to kind of like feel better about yourself. So the base card here is a fire card, which is a Five of Fire, which shows that maybe you were trying to do something different, maybe something that is really not your element, and you see the fire was a base here, and you wanted to conquer it, but you lost control of it. Kind of like play went a little bit out of hand, and it's just like kind of like it's very hard to adjust this border between the play and the real thing. So in the past, also what you're dealing with something, the truth that hasn't been told. So not necessarily a lie, but something has not even been said, or something has been said in a way that kind of like was to wrap up something that's it's not truthful, and it shouldn't be this way. The lesson for this week is strength. So this whole situation is calling upon you to be strong, to get through it, to resist challenges, right? You see the kitty not really jumping on these little birdies. So if you see the opportunity that you feel that you can seize, just ask yourself if this is really something that you should be seizing, if this is basically the good choice. And sort of like the week will just kind of like fly without your influence with the demon cat. And we all know these cats, like when they're in pain and you're in pain, they kind of become vicious. They kind of like kill even though they actually have the full plate at home. But this is showing that you are breaking this chain of dependence. You kind of like heard everything. You kind of like feel, okay, I am without control, but you know what? I can have a control of myself. And the control of myself is like, I don't want to stay in things that are not productive. And you're trying to figure out how to deal with this without actually having the full control of yourself. So also, then the flavor of how you really feel right now is Ten of Fire, which means the ending and the beginning, which kind of we have here. This is basically just about to start something that's going to kind of like evoke something new inside of you, and you kind of like feel these were not the things handled the way you wanted to have them handled. This kind of like shows that right now you feel you're left to your own devices, that you just have to fend for yourself, that, you know, literally there is just too much happening that you can handle. And how others see you on the basically outside and your feelings are overall is that you need to be patient. You want to be patient. You want to wait for that prize. And you know, and this is the Earth card. This is like 7 of Earth. This is kind of like your element. You are actually going to do well in this element. So uh, just give yourself some kind of time. And it's 7, so it could be the entire week that you're going to spend. And also, your fears are 8 of Sky. Your fears are that you are going to stay tangled up and without that control. This kind of like the whole week is like that pain over something that is slipping out of your, like, I mean, hands. So see, the basically solution here is the kitty just has to relax and find a way out of these branches, right? So this is what you need to do. Just try to think through it. What is the best solution? You need to kind of like be able to do it. It's very hard when you're in pain and panic, which obviously shows your pain and panic. You feel you have been lied to. You feel you have too much to handle. But overall, you know, look like the end of the week is again, like, I mean, beginning and the end are always merging, right, Safi? You like Virgos? That's good to know. Okay, so just kind of like let me finish this for Virgos. So you had the beginning of the week in sky flavor and in heart flavor. You were thinking with your heart and feeling with your heart or suffering with your heart, and you're kind of tormented. But you know what? By the end of the week, you're speaking your truth. You kind of broke these bones over here. You're speaking your truth. And here, this is like a sky tone. And you sort of like are going to be patient. You're going to think through, you're going to relax here, and you're going to figure out how basically to communicate. And it's going to be, you know, the revenge is best served cold kind of a thing. Your love cards, I pulled the wedding card for you. So, how is this wedding relating to this like heartache and pain and something? Well, this simply can mean upcoming wedding. It could be meaning your own or somebody else's, or it maybe you're questioning it. But more or less, when I look into this, this kind of comes as a validation that your happiness will be there, and you know that you might actually meet a significant other, just like kind of keep faith. And also, this also says that since you're doing this thinking over here, connecting your kind of spiritual kind of thoughts, maybe this is asking you to look at your present and past, either marriages or relationships, and you need to review your feelings. And the intention for that is to heal your heart, which we see here, and heal your relationship, and not to go in any kind of codependency or discomfort. Sometimes this can also signal the end of marriage, especially if this marriage was based on some kind of codependency. And, you know, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clarify that wedding card over here so you kind of get a little bit more information. Okay, please clarify this for Virgo, for this wedding. Well, we got a tarot card. This is the tarot card in this deck. Misfortune, priest, and child. It sounds to me that something will end and something new will start. So you're reviewing here what worked and what didn't work, and what you want to kind of quote unquote Christian, what you want to say yes to, and then you're moving in a better direction. So again, it's the week clearing out the things. And I also want to clarify the strength card. We have wanting, fortune, and consolation. So this kind of indicates the third party, which kind of like we've seen here. It can indicate feeling longing for someone. It can indicate jealousy. But you know what? You are going to refocus. You're Virgo. You kind of like are really good in understanding that day-to-day things kind of matter. And even though the flavor of the week is like heart and brain and not so much functioning, because you have like, I mean, only one basically pentacle card, and so you're completely out of your element the entire week, and that's why you probably have strength. And in spite of being your own element, you're moving ahead. So you're going to be fortunate moving ahead and kind of like establishing yourself. If you guys are looking for new jobs or something like this week, this looks like, you know, some like lucky break will come through, some hints will come through, and you're going to feel very positive about it. So the strength is going to be on more level than one. And let me take a rune for you. I want to see the rune in this kind of like base feeling. What is here for Virgo? Interesting. So, okay, so now we have like, I mean, 2 3s, which I said it's a spiritual, basically, message. And probably it's not a big surprise that you get a rune of illumination. This is the guys, which is called the rune of the sun. It kind of illuminates high point in your life. That's not necessarily that you're seeing as a high point, you know, but sometimes in retrospect, we see that very painful experiences we had were actually the highest level of our life, because if you turn them around and move away from them, kind of like it kind of works. Because this is going to allow you to move ahead with sort of like a childlike wonder and sense of fun. It might take time, and this can kind of include kind of children as well. Um, it's a kind of like fresh burst. Like, I mean, you want to clear these debris. You want to clean the baggage that you had, and you want again to be associated with laughter and fun. So I guess maybe when you put these two things together, you're wondering how did you get yourself into the situation where you're not feeling fun, you're not feeling energized anymore. And this is going to be the focus of the week. So Virgo, check out the next week. Monthlies are out as well. And thank you again for supporting. And this is why, even though you didn't score the top 3, but please like fight for the next week. I did give you extended forecast anyway. So thank you again. And I love you, and I'll see you soon.